Today on the channel, we're going to go ahead and make the Suburban great again, and we're going to break some shit too. So why am I standing outside of the Suburban with a hammer? Well, the hammer's not really all that essential. You could do what I'm going to use the hammer for with different objects. But today, we're going to make the Suburban look a hell of a lot cleaner. So let me stand back a little bit. And, you know, it's looking pretty good. I need to go ahead and do a video about just all the little upgrades I've done this year. I owe you guys one of those. Maybe that'll be the next video. But for today, we have a little project. So everything's looking great, except for this tacky little crap we've got going on here. So GM has always loved this plasticky, cheapo trim ever since the 80s. And really just, why is it there? You don't really need that. It's supposed to protect from door dings and things like that, but honestly, it's just very tacky and really not necessary, and it kind of ruins the lines a little bit on the car. So I want to go ahead and clean that up, and that is what we're going to do today with this hammer. But yeah, so if you guys actually follow my Instagram account at GarrettBearVillegas, which I always keep in the description below, a link to that, you guys will actually know that I did this modification only on the driver's side. I'm going to watch this, I'm going to knock the window out, like a year ago. And I never actually got around. I wanted to save the passenger side to actually make a video on it, and never got around to it. So I've actually been driving kind of lopsided this whole time. But you know, you never really notice because who looks at both sides of the car? Just I knew, so it's time to get it done. But yeah, so I already did it before on the driver's side, and it looks really good. I'll kind of show you guys some shots of that now. But yeah, so it's actually very easy to do, and really I'm just using this hammer to actually use as a pry to kind of pry that molding off. So I'm going to go ahead and set you guys down and just show you guys how I'm going to pry this off the door. And really the hardest part with this little, it's not even a modification, it's cleaning up the vehicle a little bit. The hardest part is getting all that old crappy adhesive off of my car, because they want it to stick forever, I guess. That makes sense. But it's very, very difficult. It's been baked on in the sun for how many years has this car been made? So that's really the worst part about this. But let's go ahead and get started and clean up the Suburban and make her look great. Alright, so coming down here, all I'm using is the pry part of the hammer, and if you guys are too scared, you think you might go ahead and scrape that paint up, don't even risk it. Just use some of those plastic pry tools and stuff. I've already done this, and I'm pretty conscientious of what I'm doing and not scraping up the paint, so I feel comfortable. But anyhow, all you want to do is get something behind this, the edge. You can kind of see I haven't done it up here yet, but it's still, even though it's completely mounted on the door still up there, there's still a little bit of a gap. So you're going to go ahead and shove in whatever tool you're going to use. Something, maybe plastic would be better for you. Shove it in there, and then once you've shoved it in, you're just going to pull straight out and back, and you'll start to pull this out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So at this point, we've taken a completely perfect looking vehicle and turned it into a pile of shit. So let's go ahead and fix that now. And we need to go ahead and remove all of this crappy looking adhesive. So using the experience that I gained from doing the driver's side of the vehicle, what I found to be very helpful in removing all this old dried adhesive, it's kind of like that foamy type of double-sided tape really. What really helps is to go ahead and get it really wet. I use kind of like a soap water mixture in like a spray bottle. Go ahead and just totally soak all of that old spongy double-sided tape material. And then once it's all nice and wet and soaked, I wanted to use something that would scrape it off without digging into the paint. So my solution was to go ahead and use an old credit card and just rub all that off. Yes, that sounds very painstakingly and time-consuming, and it is. But in the very end, it'll look really good. Once we scrape all that adhesive off, and not damage the paint, then I'll go ahead and use some rubbing compound just to kind of clean it up for that little last finishing touch. And once all that's done, this should look like $1,000,000, just like the other side of the vehicle. Maybe I'm tooting my horn a little bit, but that should clean this really nice and you won't even know that there was any molding there. And something worth pointing out, I don't know if that would be applicable to other colors, but for the white anyways, once you clean this all up, you don't ever notice that this car had molding. It's not like the paint changed color or like faded differently. On the driver's side, you can't tell at all. So definitely, at least with the white, that's really not an issue at all. When you clean this all up, it looks like it came from the factory without any molding. It's just really nice and clean. So yeah, I stupidly started this project right before dinner, as you do, you know. But anyhow, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of talk about what I'm gonna do, and then I'll wrap this up on another day. So first thing you can go ahead and do, like I said earlier, was go ahead and soften up some of this double-sided tape they used, the adhesive-y bit. Just go ahead and soak a sponge. This is really dirty, don't mind that. And just go ahead and rub a dub-dub and get it nice and wet. Then what you can do is go ahead and use an old credit card, or I've got an old AAA card, and just come along here and start scraping that away. Like so. See? It starts to come up. It's easier once you get a side kind of starting to peel up, then it'll come a little easier. But yeah, with all this scraping, that's why it's very important you guys use something soft, like plastic, like a plastic credit card or whatever, to kind of scrape this off, because you don't want to be digging metal or something harder into your paint. Alrighty, so skipping ahead a few months and a lot of scraping, we see the result I've got here, where now most of that residue is all gone from that two-sided tape, and now we just have a little bit left. You can kind of see it's all dirty right now, but just it's a little bit of residue left on the paint, but it's definitely a majority of it is gone from all that two-sided tape. So what we're going to go ahead and do is use some rubbing compound. I'm not partial to any particular brand, but this is what I use on the driver's side, and it worked great, so I'm going to keep using it now. And then we're going to go ahead and soak down what's left of the residue with a sponge of just warm water and kind of get it all over everything. I'm going to go ahead and get more warm water because it's evaporated. Just get it kind of softened up a little bit. Then we'll go ahead and rub in our rubbing compound right there, and that should clean it up nicely, and then finish it off with some wax. So let's go ahead and continue on. Yeah, so I suppose I should address why this project has taken me so long between the first part and the second part. I don't really have a good excuse. I guess one good excuse is that I was busy traveling for work. But besides that, really I've just been busy with other things around the house and another little project I'm working on. But yeah, so there's no reason to wait this long. So I think today is a very good day. Even though it's cold, I want to get this project done. So we're just going to go ahead and continue and wrap this up. If it wasn't for the facial hair, though, I think I probably could have just faked it out and been like, hey, next day. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. But anyhow, let's just get back to it. So I've started using the rubbing compound on the rear passenger door, and you guys can see it's already looking pretty good. Definitely a lot less adhesive. You can kind of, if you start feeling it though, you can still feel a little adhesive. And down, let's see, right there's a little dot, and there's some right there, kind of coming along, but it's looking a lot better. One thing, my big mistake, doing this in cold weather, because in the summer when I did the driver's side, came off way easier. When this stuff is cold, even with the rubbing compound, it does not want to come off. So I'm going to try my hardest right now to get it off, and if it doesn't, I will resume this on a warmer day or in the afternoon, just to finish it up. But you guys can see what it looks like. So let's go ahead and show you guys how I'm actually rubbing the compound in and trying to get the stuff off. So starting up here on the passenger side door, I just have a little cloth and a little dollop of the rubbing compound, and we're just going to start right here in this end and kind of just rub it in. Oh, that's probably actually too much rubbing compound, but it doesn't matter. And you know, like this like faded out stuff, that's coming off real nice. You want to go ahead and do linear strokes, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, as opposed to circles. At least that's what I did, and it worked pretty nice. I think that's what it says on the directions for my rubbing compound. And rubbing this off here, you can already see how that pretty much erases all that adhesive. I can still feel it a little bit, but definitely just visually, it's already gone. So really, you gotta just put some effort into it and really rub it in. So now repeat that for all of this, and you guys will be good to go. So I'll go ahead and resume the passenger side at a later time when it's warmer outside. But you guys, thankfully, this is like the cooking shows where they have like, they put it in the oven and then immediately pull it right back out. Look, it's done. Driver's side did this like over a year ago now, and it's dirty right now. But that is totally clean and really nice, like nice and smooth. Much easier in a summertime environment. But yeah, that looks really good. And you guys can see, I mean, just step back a little bit. Doesn't that look way cleaner than before? I think that looks really nice. It's definitely the way to go. Clean this car up a little bit. So spinning around, don't get sick. I will resume this later. Maybe at the very end I'll even go, kind of put in a clip or something, kind of showing you guys I actually did it, but not today. But yeah, anyhow, if you wanted to clean up the look of your Chevy truck and get rid of that tacky looking plastic that they loved to use in the 90s and the 2000s, and this helped you, then please give my video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to the channel One Brain Four Wheels for more content like this with the Suburban, the 2016 Corvette, the Cadillac Eldorado 1977, and the 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. See, I keep my promises. Perfectly nice, smooth side finish, all done. Another project bites the dust.